Hello everyone and welcome back to Skish. So I found this clip of Trash Taste talking about disgusting American food, and being Americans, I thought this would be a fun opportunity to dive into some of the more out there American foods that we have. I mean, they bring up a lot of things in here that I found pretty interesting, and there are some things they don't bring up that I think we could add to the disgustingness of American food. Without further ado, let's see what they think of disgusting American food.
I like both these things. Let's make it into food.
That's like the equivalent of fucking what some Americans do, which is like buying a McFlurry and then just dipping it with fries.
Okay,
which
but
just
actually,
blows my mind.
Okay, but actually, I kind of like that.
No. What?
No. That was the first thing that I wanted to touch on, was the fries in the Frosty. It looks like Joey and Gart are very against it, but it's good. It is very good. And he said a McFlurry. I haven't seen people do it with a McFlurry. You usually go to Wendy's, chocolate Frosty, French fries, dip, scoop, eat.
The reason you do a Frosty as opposed to a McFlurry is because the Frosty is a softer ice cream. McFlurry is a little too hard. That's why they give you a spoon with it. So it's way better with Wendy's French fries and a Wendy's Frosty.
And McFlurries always have like M&Ms or other bits of things in them. And if you're trying to dip your fries, you're not getting that on the fry. You just want the chocolate ice cream Frosty.
Yeah, the McFlurry machine is also always down.
But this is good. 2 out of 3 are wrong about this.
Which is surprising. I figured Connor would be against that. I figured it would be like the vice versa.
It doesn't seem like he's proud of it, but he's for it. But kind of, I shouldn't be for this, but I am.
But he's not ashamed enough to not admit it.
And that's what it's about.
It's pretty good.
Dude, fucking Aki took me to a Steak and Shake once, which is where like the optimal place of where you do that. And I just saw like 6 Americans dipping their fries into their shakes. I'm just like, I can't,
Bro,
I can't be here. I have to leave.
We're living in a first world country, dude. Why are you eating like this?
Honestly, like, I don't do it often, but it tasted pretty good when I've done it. You know,
I don't get it. It's like, it's like a nice. It's the synergy of the saltiness of the fries and the sweetness of the shakes. I'm like, no.
I don't understand why it works. It just does. Right?
It doesn't.
Also, Steak and Shake's like the most depressing place in America. Like, I went to one at like midnight because I was like, yeah.
Well, maybe it's because you went at midnight.
There was $1.50 burgers.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Midnight's the best time to go.
Midnight is the only time to go. If you are at Steak and Shake for like a regular dinner meal at a normal time, you're at the Steak and Shake at the wrong time. Steak and Shake is a place. It used to be the place where a lot of high schoolers went at night on weekends. Now, after the COVID stuff, you can't really do that anymore because they have like automated kiosks and stuff. So you click it, what you want. I actually haven't been there since probably 2018.
It's been a long time.
So it's been a very long time. The Steak and Shake, I don't see a lot of people dip their fries in the milkshakes.
I was going to say, I've never once seen a person dip their fry in a Steak and Shake.
And I've been to Steak and Shake a lot. But one thing that they don't touch on in this that I'm not surprised that they don't know about is Steak and Shake has a kind of secret menu. I had a friend who worked at Steak and Shake, and what you could order was this monstrosity of a burger called the 7x7. And that was 7 patties and 7 layers of cheese. And we knew the cook, so we got a 14x14. And that is 14 patties and 14 layers of cheese. I do have a picture of this.
You need to put that up.
I'll have to put the picture
right
in here, but it looks like hell between 2 buns. What happens to these buns is they disintegrate because of so much grease. There is no bun left. It is a soup of bun soup.
Keep in mind, though, with these being sandwiches that you can order, they are not common. They are not the thing that Americans typically order. So if this is to be brought up in this video or by someone who's not American and they say, well, I heard that they have 7x7s and 14x14s. That is not common. That is, you typically order a patty or 2. It's never more. The 7x7 is purely just a joke food.
It's not, though. It Steak and Shake had gift cards that advertised the 7x7 sandwich that you could order. Anyone knew about it. It was on the gift cards, huge. Get the 7x7. The 14x14 was an exception, but the 7x7 existed for people to see.
Again, it wasn't typical though. It was not typical.
It's just crazy that they advertised it.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know,
Yeah.
man. You've never been to a White Castle before. That's true.
I have
depression.
never been to a White Castle before. Does it meet the hype?
White Castle. What, the hype of what?
What-
I don't know because I only know White
It's
Castle because of
awful.
that one movie.
Right.
What was it? Harold and Kumar or something
Yeah.
like
Oh
that.
yeah.
And
So White Castle doesn't sell burgers; they sell sliders.
okay.
Right. So it's like the tiny.
Yeah.
burgers
What's
like
the
this.
difference between a burger and a
It's
slider?
like a mini.
Are we like I feel like sliders a common thing.
I think I had sliders in Japan.
I don't know how they don't know about sliders. That seems a little weird. I digress.
burger, right?
Slider is just like a mini burger, apparently.
Right.
I don't know where it comes from, but basically they sell sliders instead of burgers.
Right.
But like normally, right? Like when you buy a slider, it's like you go to some American restaurants, and I like my chicken Parmesan sliders. Like that shit's bomb.
Don't want to say it like that. Parmesan.
Parmesan slider.
Well, what do you say it?
No, just the way you added the
Chicken
little-
Parmesan slider.
Parmesan.
I just
Parmesan.
call it Parmesan, right?
Yeah,
Parmesan?
Parmesan, yeah.
Parmesan, yeah.
Oh, dude, that
British
that
movie.
hurts me hearing that.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
James.
Anyway, that chicken, like my favorites are like the chicken Parmesan sliders, right? So it's like the chicken Parmesan, then you put like some lettuce in it. It's fucking nice. But White Castle sliders is literally just two soggy buns and like the thinnest patty in existence. It's like paper thin patties, and it's like
Oh,
and it's like
God.
you can get like a 6-pack of
6-pack
Yeah.
of sliders.
It's like a six. It is. It's like they box it like a 6-pack of sliders for like $4 or something. I'm just like, this is true depression.
all I know is that everyone I know who goes there has like the shits afterwards.
Oh yeah.
It's just like, like to me, that's like how on earth we've got to the point where that's just an acceptable outcome.
How is it? How is it that like Americans have gauged like the tastiness of a fast food?
White slider, fucking white slider. White Castle is pretty much how they described it.
It's not really redeemable. Like it is kind of a disgusting American food.
It definitely is. I don't think anyone goes to White Castle without leaving feeling disgusting about themselves. You go because you think, oh man, a White Castle burger sounds awesome right now, or I'm going to get 50 sliders and just go ham on them. And then you leave, you go, fuck, that was a horrible decision. No one leaves there happy.
No, it's not a food that you go to like get a good meal ever. In fact, there's like none around here anymore. Like they're really kind of going out of style. The White Castles. Yeah, the patties too. The patties are interesting because they're square and they have 5 holes in them, kind of like the fifth side of a die. They look like that. I don't know why they're there.
It's supposed to be for optimal cooking.
I mean, they're thin enough. Like you can cook them in 30 seconds. I don't know, but they're I don't even know if they're fine. Like they're just food.
White
Hardly.
Castle is pretty foul. It's pretty disgusting.
Yeah, White Castle is pretty bad. Like that's a bad one. And you can buy them in the freezer section. They come in packs of 2. And those, well, I've eaten a lot of them. They're not good. You know the ones?
Yeah, it's just White Castle.
Yeah.
It is the guilty pleasure. And then you hate yourself.
it's just guilty.
It is just guilty.
Food joint by how much their stomach is just destroyed the next day.
You know what?
Like people are like, oh yeah, it's not a good Chili's meal unless I'm shitting myself constantly the next day.
To be fair, I
right?
feel the same with Indian though. Like I have to
Sure,
destroy the toilets
Sure,
after
sure.
I get Indian, so
That's how
I
you know
I
it's good.
kind of get it, but at the same time, I can only do it like at most once every few
but
weeks.
like a burger shouldn't do that. Like
Yeah.
a burger shouldn't. Like
Yeah.
Indian, I've always accepted that Indian does that.
Yeah,
Yes.
because of the spices,
Yeah,
right?
it's all the
Yeah.
spices. But
Yeah.
when it's just like bread and meat, what is happening? Like what went wrong?
It's the oil.
Yeah, okay. You know, also the most egregious thing that I hate they do is that they put the grease on top of the burgers.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
did this? And
Yeah.
who likes it? Because I remember I went to Steak and Shake and they did this to my burger, and I was like, well, I don't want this anymore. Why would
Yeah.
you do this? It's like you took the worst part of the meat, which is the part that makes you feel sick,
Have
and
you,
you put it
uh,
on top. Why?
I remember when I was staying at Sydney's.
Has that ever happened? Like, have you noticed
I
that at all?
haven't seen anyone put the oil and grease on top of the burger. I think the Steak and Shake burgers are just so oily in general that it just pools and you can't really do anything about it. It's like when I mentioned the 7x7, what happens to the bun? It just disintegrates because so much grease and oil. I don't think they're intentionally scooping it onto there. I think it's just a very greasy burger.
And the patties are thin too, and I think they squish them to get oil out, and then they throw more patties on, therefore absorbing more oil. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know anyone who scoops the oil on, but I get what he's saying. Like, there's a fuck ton of oil.
But I'm not surprised if someone did do that.
I would not.
It's not something I'd be like, yeah, he's fucking lying. No, that's probably true.
Like family's house in Wisconsin, and they got like a takeaway pizza joint one day. And one of the big selling points of this like takeaway pizza joint is they had like garlic bread, and the selling point was that if you put like a paper towel on the garlic bread, it would literally soak it in oil. And they were hyping this up to be like, yo, if there's so much oil on this that if you put the wet paper towel, it will soak it and it'll become completely wet. And I'm just thinking, how is this a selling point? Why would I want to eat this?
That's like that Simpsons episode when like Homer's trying to get like so fat that he gets like the disability like thing.
Oh, yeah.
And Dr.
That's
Nick's
not
like,
surprising
grab the burger, rub it against a piece of paper. If it goes see-through, you can eat it.
Like, I thought it was like a joke. I thought it was satire.
Yeah.
But no, they literally like marketed it as this garlic bread is so oily that you can literally soak up an entire paper towel.
That's
And
not-
I just think about it and I'm just like, I hold it in my hands and it was literally dripping. And I took one bite and one bite was enough for me.
That's
man.
like the pure survival food because the sheer amount of oil could like power a lamp.
Yeah, that's nasty. That's gross. I don't know why that restaurant decided to make that a selling point, but that's gross. If I have a piece of pizza and it's leaking grease, I don't look at that and go, oh, wow, that's a great piece of pizza. I think it's pretty nasty. I like to dab off a lot of the grease on pizza when I eat it because too much grease just, of course, it makes you feel horrible and it's not great to eat.
And there are pizzas where, like, if you dab it up, the paper towels do get, like, soaked in grease. Like, you have to get a couple and tap the top of it just to get all the shit off.
Yeah, I don't know. The grease stuff is nasty. I don't know why that restaurant's doing that.
Or like, I can never eat a kebab sober. Like something has gone wrong with me. Like something has gone wrong with my life. If I'm eating a kebab and I'm completely sober.
You know I'm hella depressed when I'm eating a kebab for lunch, right?
I love a great like burger with a bit of grease on it. A little bit.
We only had kebabs. Well, they say kebab, which is very weird
which
to
is
me.
interesting.
We say kebab here. We only had them one time in my life that I've ever really had one.
Are they insinuating we have a lot here?
I don't know, because I don't see kebabs anywhere here ever.
Like,
when we were in Japan, we saw a lot of them.
They're like everywhere. Like Akihabara, you said you got some in Shinjuku.
No. Well, one thing that they did mention about eating a kebab sober, we were out drinking one night in Shinjuku and Jonathan was fiending for a kebab. You were there.
I don't. Oh, in Golden Guy?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It was, he got the kebab and he just devoured this thing. So I guess it kind of tracks that eating them drunk makes sense. But I did have a kebab when we were in Niigata. We couldn't find anywhere to eat because I don't know if this is common, but a lot of the restaurants were open for a couple hours and then they would close and then they would open again for dinner time. And we were in that weird stretch of everything being closed, so we couldn't find anywhere to eat. So we stumbled into this little kebab place across the street from our hotel and ate those, and they were good, but I was stone cold sober. I didn't really feel guilty.
Are kebabs like typically greasy? Because I feel like they're not.
It wasn't
You
that
know what
bad. I guess comparative to certain things over here, I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, like 7x7.
But I get the drunk stupor of wanting a kebab, a kind of thrown together food.
Just a conglomerate of everything.
Yeah.
complete
Two
opposite,
different
right?
things.
It's
Because
two
two
different
entirely
things.
I think
different
that
things.
as somebody who was a little chubbier, not nowhere near that level,
Yeah.
right? Like I get it. I get how you can gain weight, but there's like a limit of
Yeah.
where I think that it would go beyond anything. Like,
Yeah.
'cause some of these they're eating like, I don't know, like fucking 15 hot dogs in the morning with like cheese and chili on it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I think I would draw the line. I think like,
Right. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's like the thing that surprises me more is not the fact that they're like complaining about having all this weight problems and then they proceed to eat a whole fucking box of chilies, right?
Yeah.
But it's also just the egregious amount of food that they can somehow stomach. I'm like,
Yeah. It
just
just
looking at it makes my stomach.
it just
hurt.
doesn't make sense to me, and I feel like you must have just grown up with this, and because every time I go to America, I always like the food portions in there. We've talked about this before, are massive, and
Yeah.
I'm forced to like have these massive food portions, and like the first week, fucking great.
Yeah, I love
after a week of staying in
I want to
America,
go home.
I'm like, is there a salad? Is there a salad? And I ask for the salad, and what comes out is a fucking forest. You know what I mean? Like, this ain't a fucking salad.
It's like 6 heads of lettuce in a bowl.
It's like the amount of dressing is like the same as the meal. Like, 'cause it's like 1,600 calories.
what am
with
I,
the dressing.
fucking rabbit?
I'm like, did you deforest the entire Amazon rainforest just to put on my plate? Like, this is the kind of like food portions we're talking about here.
The salads here are absolutely massive.
Oh, they're so big.
I'm not a salad guy. I don't eat salads. I always give them away. I will never order one. But they are so huge. I remember we went to Sheetz, and Sheetz is another egregious place where when you order food there, it's great in the moment, and then you feel like shit afterwards. I'm surprised. If for some weird circumstances we were to meet up with them, I would say, hey, I want to take you guys to Sheetz because it's fucking foul. But I eat it anyway. But Sheetz has salads, and they don't come in like little bowls. They come in large containers. They are enormous. Jonathan got one day, and I was watching him eat it, and I'm like, dude, that is the biggest fucking salad I have ever seen, and it came from a gas station.
Do they put? I don't know for sure, but do they put the dressing on, like behind the counter, or do you pick the dressing up somewhere?
I want to say you get a packet or something. I'm not sure if they put it on or what.
I feel like the packet's got to be huge.
Now you
to
order,
compensate.
you eat salads.
I love salad. Yeah, I love salad. I also don't like when my salad is swimming in dressing, and I don't like overly large salads. I like salad as a small, light meal. I don't like it to be a whole fucking portion to fill me up. I don't like it like that. So when people order like these gargantuan, as Garnt said, forests of salads, it's just too much. Too much. And then people like just pour like a whole bottle of fucking ranch on them.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
And that's the worst. Ranch is the worst condiment ever. But it is egregious, the portion sizes, specifically for salads, because they're like, oh, they're a light food. They just double everything.
A healthy food that you can eat a ton of.
And then, like Connor just said, it's just many calories, and it ruins it with the dressing because it's not healthy anymore. It's just oils.
Right, people just use a whole bottle of Italian dressing on their forest of a salad and then claim, well, I'm eating good. Well, you just consumed an entire bottle of olive oil.
You just consumed 200 grams of fat.
Right,
So.
that's like 800 calories. Health went out the window a long time ago.
Well, then I can eat this pasta later because I had a salad.
Right, the salad's just the beginning. You haven't even gotten into the main course of the meal. The portions here are crazy, and I think we have talked about this in another
this
video
is in a
because we've
previous
probably
video.
reacted to another video on American food, but they're huge. They're way too big, and you just have to be careful, I guess.
Just don't eat it all at once.
You can't even like go out to eat because that's where the portions are enormous.
Well, the positive thing is you get doggy bags. So you can take doggy bags home here. It's really common. So you can eat half of it and then take the other half home for later.
Right, but if I get a burger from Steak and Shake and I eat half of it and then take the other half of the greasy mess home, put it in the
that's
microwave, it's disgusting. Certain foods are only good when they're done fresh, and the microwave just can't do it.
Why'd you air fry it?
A burger?
I would rather air fry a burger than microwave it. It just warms it up.
I guess. I don't.
It makes it a little crunchy.
I've never tried. I don't use the air fryer.
I don't either. I actually don't
It's
either.
a big inconvenience.
It's huge.
To me.
And yeah, it is an inconvenience.
It sucks, man, because it's so unfair. Because we like, if you get fat in Japan, I feel like that's on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but if you get fat in America, it's like, well, everything was set up against
Yeah.
you. Like,
Welcome to the system.
Everything was set up to make you fat.
Yeah.
So it's like, how the fuck? Like, it's not fair. Which is why, like,
because
man,
like
it's just sad.
my diet in America is awful. Obviously, because of the food
same
available
whenever
as
I
well.
go there.
But like also like I get to the point where I want to have something, but something not greasy, and especially like in the Midwest where it's like, you know, where it's like the countryside, there's a lot less choice and a lot less healthy choices as well. So you're kind of forced to be like, hey, you can have. You kind of have to cook for yourself, and if you can't cook for yourself, then you're pretty much fucked. You know?
Yeah.
And that's why it's so much harder to eat healthier over there than it is, say in like Japan.
Yeah, but even then,
That is one thing that really bothers me about America as a whole, is that if you do, say you're traveling or something and you just want to pick up a light snack, all convenience stores really have are like rotisserie hot dogs and fucking chocolate and candy. One of the best things about being in Japan was going to the conveni and being able to get like an onigiri or things that weren't crazy unhealthy for you. And like you said, if you're not cooking for yourself here and you just want to go out and get something relatively healthy, eating healthy here is kind of bougie.
Yeah.
And it costs more.
It costs
from
a lot more.
Yeah, especially from a restaurant that is labeled as healthy. Bam is a great example. There's a restaurant, Bam, here that is fairly healthy, but it is so expensive. So you have to decide between whether I want to spend an arm and a leg or just get a quick fucking burger from McDonald's or something.
Yeah. Or if you don't have time to cook, like, you're kind of fucked. So you have to choose a McDonald's burger because not everybody has $30 to spend at Bam, which sucks ass because Bam is really good. They have really good healthy food and you can see it be made fresh. But it's just it's a travesty that eating healthy costs so much. And to the point of the convenience again, like convenience stores around here, they have like a little section with like sandwiches and wraps. But again, going back to the salad, they're covered in shit. So it's like you have no choice. And the wraps cost like $8.
Yeah, they're crazy expensive.
So you're paying for a whole meal for a little wrap that costs $8, and when you're just trying to get a quick bite.
It's also probably fairly shitty and if you eat it. Like,
Oh yeah.
It's just not great quality.
Yeah, it's just Japan is far superior when it comes to convenience food, like by far.
like, okay, let's get some healthy food, and it was really hard to find like the actual like stuff,
Yeah.
like the actual healthy like stuff. And then I go to the next aisle. There's a whole aisle. This blew my mind of hot dogs. A whole aisle of hot dogs, not sausages, hot dogs. And I was like,
Right.
this is insane. I thought there was only one type of hot dog. I didn't realize that hot dogs were any different from each other because they all taste the same. Hot dogs never taste any
Yeah,
different.
yeah.
Do you ever notice it when you go to your friend's barbecue or whatever, and they
Yeah.
give you a hot dog? Have you ever been like, wow, this tastes different from my hot dog?
No.
No, it's always like, I put mustard on it. I put ketchup. You know, that's how you differentiate
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
They all taste the fucking same.
Well, I mean, it's all the different like brands.
Yeah,
of
and
hot dogs,
somehow
right?
they had like 10 rows on a whole aisle of hot dogs. I was blown away. I was like, this is insane.
I mean, I think like there is difference in like sometimes it's like filled with cheese and sometimes
That's
it's
vile. Don't do that. I don't like that. at all.
Really? No, I
really
like
don't
that.
No,
I
no,
like
no, no.
that.
Because
I
I
because
like,
this
it,
is
I like a bit of spice.
no,
in
no,
my
because
hot dog.
this
Cheese
is
on
because
top.
this is American cheese we're talking about. Like,
Yeah,
that's not
that
real
too.
cheese. If it was filled with actual like real cheese, then yeah, I'd be a little more
And
open
I'm
to it.
pissed off that they've managed to infiltrate Japan somehow.
See,
because
this-
whenever you get anything with cheese on top of it here, it's such a gamble, whether it's American, like
Yeah,
fucking squished
plasticky
cheese.
cheese. Yeah.
Fucking Americans.
See, this is the advantage of not putting condiments and everything. I can
Oh,
actually,
fuck
I can
off.
actually taste the fucking difference between a normal hot dog and a cheese hot dog, and like
Yes,
a
because that is
spiced
an
hot
important
dog.
life skill, isn't it?
I don't mind American cheese. I think it's okay on like burgers and if you want to put it on a hot dog.
I think it's fine. There's definitely cheeses I do prefer much more. Would like pepper jack be like American cheese?
I don't think so.
Like, is that anywhere else?
I think American cheese is just the yellow square craft singles and a lot of people say the stuff in the squeeze container, but honestly nobody really eats that.
No, that's not a common thing.
But the slices are very common. You'll find those
Yeah.
everywhere.
Okay, yeah, American cheese makes sense. Yeah, It tastes. I don't know. I mean, we grew up with it, so it's like we're kind of accustomed to it.
Yeah, and I'm not a big cheese head, so I'm not going out of my way to slather my shit in cheese.
Yeah, I'm not either. Cheese is kind of. It's a nice topping.
It's a decorator.
It is. It's a light decorator, is what it is. It's not meant to be just ghastly. And it's surprising when we were in Japan again, we saw an advertisement for a burger where they poured like a whole pot of cheese over the burger. So I know we get a lot of shit for Americans put cheese on everything. Just want to point out that literally the whole burger was covered in cheese.
The amount of videos and like reels that I've seen of Japanese restaurants just covering stuff in cheese from a pot filled with a bunch of cheese. I'm like, that is repulsive. Give that 30 seconds and it's going to harden and just be disgustingly greasy and gross.
All soggy.
Yeah, that's don't.
But it's not to say
that.
American restaurants don't do that either, because they certainly do.
Just don't do it in general.
Yeah, it's gross. It's fucking gross.
So one last thing I wanted to mention that they did not bring up. So if we were in another scenario where we were hanging out or something, and I said, "Hey, let's take you to a restaurant," I would take them to Skyline Chili. Now, if you don't know what Skyline Chili is, it is a restaurant born in Cincinnati, about
Ohio.
4 hours from where we are from. Skyline Chili's main food is spaghetti pasta as your base, and then on top of that, they slather chili, onions, beans, and just the most cheese you've ever seen in your life on top of something. This isn't the melted cheese that people typically think of cover things. This is shredded American cheese piled high on top of this stuff. And what a lot of people also do are get extra baggies of the cheese and put more on there. I mean, I'm not kidding when I say I have never seen more cheese on an item in my life. And this stuff is foul. The chili is... You can't...
You know, like canned Hormel chili?
Hormel is praiseworthy compared to the shit they put on this stuff. It leaks like water and liquid, and you have this pool of mildly transparent chili on the bottom, and your spaghetti's swimming in it. But there's still clumps of shit. Like, and it's mostly bean and onion and meat. It's foul. It is horrid. I hate it so much, but I eat it sometimes, and I hate myself for that. I never like it.
Skyline is also one of those restaurants. It's one of those places where it's like you either love it or you fucking hate it. There is no in between. Like, Anthony eats it, but he just likes to eat food. There's people that are what they call chili heads who will buy the merch, get gift cards, go there for special occasions. It's all they talk about. And then there's people who hate it. There's people that despise Skyline Chili. And I don't know. I've had it one time. I can't say I was like, I'm certainly not a chili head. Certainly not a chili head. Like, just thinking about it kind of now with the water at the bottom of the cesspool of spaghetti noodles.
It's gross.
It's making me ill.
And they have coney dogs too, and those are piled high with 2 miles of cheese on top of that. But that would be another place I would recommend they try to really get the full American palate.
What about a restaurant that would be like good? I think there's
fucking Jack Brown's. I don't know.
I mean, there's like the only time you're gonna find like good quality stuff that people rage about is not chain shit. Like, chain shit's ruined here. There's no good chain shit. If you want a good American meal, a good burger without a gallon of grease on it, a good cup of spaghetti with, I don't know if they even make this anywhere else, spaghetti with chili on it, with not a lot of cheese. I don't know, try one that's not Skyline. Like, the more local places, you're going to find actually normal meals. Like Jack Brown's, shouts Jack Brown's, they give you just a burger and some fries. The portion is not huge.
It's so nice.
It's totally doable. And the burger's not like overly greasy. But the chain restaurants have just ruined the American name of food all over the world. And it is a travesty.
It is. So if you're here, or you plan on coming here, and you want to try some egregious American food, Skyline, Steak and Shake and ask. I don't even know if you can ask about a 7x7 anymore since they don't have
I'm not sure.
waiters and waitresses. If it's possible to get your hands on one and you want to hate yourself, get a 7x7. Sheets. White Castle. Those are
That's
pretty,
like it. Those are like the ones that are kind of more obscure that people like. Everybody thinks of McDonald's and Burger King and shit.
Right.
But like those are the more kind of obscure ones that not a lot of people know about. So big shout out to the guys over at Trash Taste. We enjoy their content a lot. Big shouts to Connor for raising over $1 million for the Immune Deficiency Foundation. So big shouts to those guys over there. You guys know any egregious American foods that we did not mention? Leave some in the comments down below. And make sure to subscribe. Got some new videos coming out pretty soon. Some more anime related content. Leave a like. Hit the bell button so you know when we upload. And that was American Foods. That was us reacting to Trash Taste. Reacting about American foods.
and we'll see you in the next reaction.
Yeah. Have a good day.